the usual suspects, if you know what I mean. It's been a very eventful week in black on white atrocities. I guess that's what we should call it, because that's what it is. And it's just so fucking aggravating. It does seem like more people are kind of picking up to it and getting a little more like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm seeing this is a problem. And something's got to be done about it. But it doesn't look like anything's really being done about it. A lot of Americans are recognizing, you better recognize, they're recognizing that there's an issue in the black community. You know, like a wise person once stated back over 10 years ago, that there seemed to be this penchant for violence, this jump to violence in the community. And he was fired. He was fired from his job at Sirius Satellite Radio. That man's name, Jesus Christ. Thank you. So, yeah, a lot of people have just had it. I know I came up with the term black fatigue quite some time ago. I was using it a lot on social media, on the show, and, you know, black fatigue. And now I see it a lot. I see it popping up a lot because people are fatigued. They've had quite enough of this bullshit. And when things happen, like happened with that lovely Ukrainian refugee, this is a girl who came here to the United States to escape the war-torn home of Ukraine. And she was taken out in such horrifically violent fashion by just another fucking savage black thug on public transportation that he didn't belong on, that he hadn't paid to get onto, and no one cared. You know, we see that a lot. They just hop the turnstile. They don't buy tickets. They go in, they sit down, they cause problems, and no one wants to really hold them accountable for not having paid. And then you get them like, oh, so what? Oh, a fare beater. Ooh, big crime. Yeah, well, when it leads to a vicious murder, yeah, it is a big crime. And it's a great way to get these fuckers off the street so they don't commit the bigger crimes. But, you know, if you've lived or worked in New York City, you know what a joke the payment system is at the turnstile to get through. And they have the big emergency exits, and people just prop them open. And they just walk in and out. We're the saps and suckers that actually pay to use the transportation system. And we end up being, you know, the victims of the thugs and scum that don't pay to get in. So close the fucking emergency exits, make sure they're locked and can only be opened in a real emergency, and station a cop at the turnstile and the emergency exit. And if anyone tries to get in for free, they get cuffed and arrested and convicted and sentenced. Do all those things, and then maybe some fucking animal won't be sitting behind an innocent girl to be stabbed. Just insane. It's so easy. It's so simple. And then I heard Trump is just today, I guess, ICE has made its way into Chicago for Operation Midway, I think they're calling it. And there's protests. The mayor of Chicago, the governor of Illinois, all livid mad. We're not going to allow Trump to do what he did in D.C. What? Reduce crime and murders to unbelievably low numbers? Is that a bad thing? That's your problem? He said, look, if these big cities with Democrat, you know, I think it's 100% at this point, Democrat-run cities that are the top violent crime cities in the country. And he said, if you're not going to do anything about it, we will. He goes, yeah, we got Chicago every weekend, another 5 people are dead. Throughout the week, you got a few more. It doesn't also include the people that are injured and in critical condition, and it'll never be the same again, of lifelong effects of their gunshot wounds. And you got a mayor and a governor and protesters in Chicago that are fighting tooth and nail, fighting hard, putting effort against having a safer, more secure, less violent, less deadly city. Really got to think about that, you know? They are trying their best to prevent Donald Trump from preventing murders in their city. It's not even something they're doing covertly. You know, oh boy, is there anything we can do? Don't put my name on it. I don't want it to seem like I'm against getting criminals and murderers off the street, but we can't let Trump get credit for this, and we got to make it seem like he's doing something unconstitutional or totalitarian and oppressive to the wonderful citizens of Chicago. No. He's helping the citizens of Chicago, the taxpayers, the people that just want to commute to and from work every day without having to worry about being murdered or assaulted or robbed or raped. But, you know, the powers that be in Chicago and all these other blue cities, they don't want that. Which, if you do a simple equation, means that they are in support of people being murdered in their city. You can't really see it any other way, because they're not saying, well, yeah, Trump is trying to prevent these murders, but we are too. We agree with the way we're handling it. We're tough on crime. We don't put up with murderers in our transit system and on the streets. If they might have an argument if that was the case. No, we don't like the way Trump does this. Our method of cleaning up the streets is much better than Trump's, and we're sticking with it. Good, congrats. Can I see your method? Can we look at the results of your method? All right. Say your method. Oh, it's nothing. It's do nothing. It's literally let the criminals out on the streets. Well, let's look at the stats and see how they've... Oh, you're one of the top cities for rape, murder, armed robbery, violent crime. Okay, so it's not working. So how about Trump sends in, his method? And then we see how that worked. And if it's the same result, if it's nothing and it does nothing, then you could say that Trump, you don't want him in your city, protest him. It's a waste of time and resources. Then just go off and say that. But looking at D.C. and seeing the results of Trump's crackdown there, you'd be very hard-pressed to argue that it wasn't effective. And since D.C. was also doing nothing, and the citizens there were being ravaged by murderers and the lot, then how about you shut the fuck up? How about you just shut the fuck up and see what happens? They're trying to portray this as Trump sending in the army, the military, the National Guard, and law enforcement to just roust innocent people in these cities. That's the Nazi thing, Oh, like Nazis, where are your papers? And they'll tackle you and cuff you and throw you in an unmarked van and no one ever sees you again. Everything's accounted for. And with all of the arrests that ICE has made, especially of illegals in this country, not one has been an American citizen. You always hear about that. They don't even care. They're arresting American citizens. No, they're not. Find me a case. I have seen so many people going up to these protesters and dimwits that are saying that American citizens are being taken, kidnapped, thrown in vans, and taken to undisclosed locations. And no one has ever been able to show one document, one report from the family of a legal, law-abiding American citizen being kidnapped by law enforcement. You know why? It's not happening. It's not happening. They're deporting the illegals that the Biden administration allowed to cross that border with impunity. So if you have any issues with the Trump administration's deportation policy, you should be unbelievably livid at the Biden administration for making the mess in the first place. God, this voice. If, a hurricane affected your home and flooded and wind damaged and everything, and then the people that come to clean up the mess are doing their job, would you get mad at them? Or would you be mad at the hurricane and the situation that led to your house being ruined? Yeah, be mad at Joe Biden. For every deportation being made by the Trump administration, Joe Biden let someone in that was not supposed to be here. So don't don't be angry at the person that's cleaning up the fucking mess that they made. All right? Good. Glad you all agree with me. Oh, my throat. Ow. You ever just hit your tooth with your... Oh, the same tooth Dallas hit yesterday. He jumped up with his big Malinois canines and just slammed right into one of my teeth. I'm like, uh-oh. These are, veneers. You have veneers all up and down here. So you slip up, they pop off. It's like $1,000 to get them to put it back on. And if they got to make a new one because it cracked, it's just a lifetime of maintenance when you get these things. I knew that's what it was going to be. But then right before I went to New York this week, Dallas jumped up and his the lower canine went right up my nostril into the side of my nose. Gave me a little nosebleed. Like, oh my God, this fucking dog. I love that little guy, but he is, he's everything they said Malinois are. It's fun. I'm not bitching. I'm just conveying what happens when you have a Belgian Malinois. They're very active, very aggressive. Hey, the dog's very aggressive, Rat.